All right. Welcome, everybody. We're super excited for this day and to celebrate women everywhere, everywhere on this planet. It is International Women's Day, but we feel like it's International Women's Day every day here because it's all about celebrating and raising the voice of women. This year's theme for International Women's Day was Embrace Equity. And through this project of creating voices of the 21st century, we hope the authors in this that you're about to meet today want to empower and inspire others by creating an outlet for women to be heard and to share their stories. We believe that everyone has a story to tell and that the stories of women can be a powerful force of knowledge and understanding. And by opening up and sharing our stories, we are opening up the possibility for others to learn from and relate to our experiences. This can result in a greater appreciation and respect for all different cultures, backgrounds, and perspectives. In turn, this can promote a more inclusive, equitable, and understanding society. And also, by hearing the stories of others, we can gain insight into what others have faced and overcome challenges similar to our own and be inspired by their courage and resilience. Through our storytelling, we can create a more equitable society by building bridges and connections between people from all backgrounds. So we are super excited right now to introduce you to the women within the pages of Voices of the 21st Century who are transforming the world through their stories. Please join me in welcoming all of them, and I hope you enjoy what they have to say.
Indeed, the women who are transforming the world, we are so excited to have you here. And we want to know a little bit about your story and what inspired you to write it. And thank you, Gail, for bringing up this whole International Women's Week, Embrace Equity. So consider yourself all hugged, and all of these women here are hugging you too. And to start out our hugs, visually, verbally, Zan Johns, you have not only a story in our book here, but we also have your poem that really kind of highlights this. So tell us what inspired you to write both the poem and what your chapter title is.
Thank you, Laura. Hi, everyone. I was inspired to write the poem after hearing in some of our early meetings, hearing the one-liners, just the thoughts that every author was thinking about for their stories. I started writing notes because I was deeply moved by every single story, and I wanted to capture it in one expression. It took some time, but I felt it. I felt like I was living with each individual co-author. And so the poem is entitled Soaring Intently, and it reflects our transformation as authors and women of the 21st century. Now, my chapter is entitled DNA Match, Our Family Redefined. A very, very tender, personal story, not the one that I intended to write initially, but one day God said, you've got something to share. And we know that connections begin at home. And this was about a discovery, not one that I was searching for, but one that found me and my family through Ancestry.com. We discovered a dear, dear relative that we didn't know about. I'm in my 60s, I'm in control of nothing. So when I got the news, it was so exciting and amazing. And my siblings and my entire family welcomed our new relative. I don't want to say what it is, who it is, because I want people to buy the book. I also want to encourage people, if you're on the fence and you feel like you have someone out there that you are related to and you haven't made that move, go ahead and submit the saliva. You don't know what's waiting for you on the other end. In our case, it was a lot of love. That's what inspired me to write the story. Love is what matters. Buy my book. You can find it at www.zanexpressions.com. Learn about my DNA match, the discovery that transformed our family and me as an individual. Thank you.
Woohoo! You're such a light, Zan, and in the book, and it's filled with light. So our next light I'd like to bring up is Cynthia. Tell us the title of your chapter and what inspired you.
Hi, the name of my chapter is Chasing Wild Horses. And really what has inspired me is that I have been in much transition over the last few years and learned a lot about relationships and myself, and actually being unprepared for some things financially, but always having a desire to just be fulfilled. You know, it's like as women, we're always filling someone else's cup, but we're not really filling our own. And so I really wanted to go take pictures of wild horses. I just wanted to be a free spirit. So my story is really kind of a journey on finding myself, and that's what I want to follow. Not without contributing, though. I would like to say I also educate women and empower women so that they'll have a better financial background to actually fulfill their dreams, and maybe not put all their eggs in one basket and sort them out. So that's really kind of been my inspiration, is like, you know, whatever you're pulled to do in the very early years, you know, try to connect with yourself then and carry that thread through, and don't just get lost. I don't know that I cover everything like that in my story, but that's kind of my inspiration. And I really, you know, we're only here for a flicker. And so go do the things that are really like, take your breath away, you know, before you don't have a breath. So that's kind of it. You can, buy the book, read the story. I hope it inspires you. I do have a website. It's in construction, so it's CynthiaJaffria.com. You can also find me on Instagram at Cynthia Jaffria, and it's GIUFFRIA, just in case you have a little trouble with that name. And I'd love to sign a copy for you. So that's it.
Thank you, Cynthia. And yeah, all these authors are sharing where you can get their signed copy from them. So if someone's resonating with you, please replay this or take a note down on where you can get their book. So Nargis is our next shining light. And thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Tell us your chapter and what people will take away and what really inspired that story.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Nargis Nurumvala. That's pronounced, I know it's so long, Nargis. And I'm the founder and CEO of ExecutiveSpeak.com. I'm so honored to be here with all these amazing women. So the name of my chapter is My Journey of Transformation from Worthless to Worthy. And I want you to buy the book and read my story, so I won't give it away. But the reason why I wrote this story, and the reason why you need to read this, is that I want to inspire men and women that you are never too old and it's never too late to become the person you were born to be. Because 12 years ago, I felt like it was too late for me. I really did. I was at the bottom. And so you need to read that journey of transformation that took place. And I need to say one more thing, that it helped me realize that the plans that God has for our lives far exceed any of our wildest expectations. And that is something that I learned from my own life and from reading so many of these incredibly inspiring stories. To connect with me and learn about how to get your signed copy, You can go to my website, Executive Speak, spelled exactly as it sounds, executivespeak.com. You can also reach out to me on social media. I love social media. My handles on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube are the same. It's at Nergis Nurumvala. And good luck spelling my name. I know it's so long. Or you can connect with me on LinkedIn, which is my absolute favorite network. So follow me or send me a connection request. Mention the book and I will accept it. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy to be here today. Happy International Women's Day, everyone. And by the way, to my husband and all the other men who asked me, so why do you need a day for women? Because every other day is International Men's Day. Okay, amen. I just had to put that in because I always get this question and it drives me crazy. So we need International Women's Day, celebrating all the amazing women and all the unspoken, unappreciated, amazing work that women do every day. Sorry, I had to say that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, hands up to all the women. It's International Women's Day every day in our world, in our microcosm of our world here. So thank you, Nergis, for that reminder. And Shelley, tell us about your chapter title, what inspired your story, what women will take away, and how they can get a copy from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. The chapter of my story is Stop Playing Small. And what inspired me to write this, I wanted to share some of my personal struggles, triumphs, and tragedies. You know, oftentimes we all have this knowing feeling that we belong or we have a desire to fit in. And so I used to, especially growing up, right? I used to minimize like what I knew, what I believed, how I felt, and how I presented myself. And so there were times that I just felt like I had to play small and shrink and make others feel bigger and better because I grew up in a household where, you know, you were taught like, you know, walk humbly, you know, don't be conceited, never show off. And so all of that always stuck with me. So I'm just giving you a little snippet as to why you should buy the book. But I am hoping that the readers will take away that now is the time to stop playing small. Stop undervaluing your own gifts. Recognize your strengths and contributions because you have no reason to be afraid. You have to claim your self-worth, your territory, and celebrate your achievements. And so with that, if you would like to purchase the book and read my chapter, and I'm hoping you will, you can find me at ShelleyLBell.com. Thank you again.
Woohoo! We're all there. Amen, Shelley. Yes. Claim it and value yourself and your self-worth. That's what you'll get out of this book and so much more. Thank you, Shelley. Okay, how about Natasha? Share about your chapter title, what inspired it, and where people can get a copy of your book.
Thanks, Laura. Hello, everyone. I am Natasha Williams, the founder of BossLadiesTV.com. And the title of my chapter is Don't Die with Your Dreams Still Inside You. And I was inspired to write this part of my story because my mother was on her deathbed and she was dying, and it was very unexpectedly. She was very young to be dying at 69 years old. And she was sad. And a tear rolled down her cheek, not because she was dying, but because she felt as if she was dying and she hadn't accomplished anything in her life. And so how do you console a person when, you know, when you're on your deathbed, it is too late. It is too late to do it. So I told her, I said, Mom, you know, everybody is here for a reason and for a season and for a purpose, but everybody's purpose is not big and grandiose. I said, maybe your purpose was simply to have me, because without you, there would be no me, and therefore no Boss Ladies TV. So she smiled, and that was the last conversation we had before she was put into a medically induced coma, and then she quietly passed away in her sleep. So anyway, the story is to encourage everyone. If you are still breathing, it is never too late. It is never too late. I don't care how old you are, what socioeconomic status you're in, what bad things have happened into your life. You can turn your pain into power and passion and read the story. And I hope that you will be inspired. If you would like a signed copy of the book, you can reach me at bossladiestv.com and come share your story. Somebody in the world needs to hear it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Somebody in the world needs to hear your story. And we know that when you read their stories, these women's stories, our stories, there's a message in there for you. And a lot of these women, I'm so glad you brought that up, Natasha, have dedicated chapters to important people in their lives. And there's just a special feeling when you read those chapters that are dedicated as well. So Judy is our next author. Please share with us your chapter title, what inspired you, where people can get a copy.
Great. Thank you so much, Laura and Gail, of course, and all these amazing women on this call today that contributed to the book. My chapter is called After the Fall. And really what inspired is me to write it was just time. It was time to share my own inequitable struggle and be vulnerable to support my own healing journey. And despite much success in my career from an early age, a pattern emerged in my life of trying to overcompensate for what I thought were unsurmountable hurdles, being a woman in business. I overworked myself, thinking I had more to prove, and particularly in the corporate world. And I put everything and everyone else before my own health and happiness. I championed for others in a way that brought backlash at times and burnt myself out more than once and faced some health issues over that time. I came to understand that resilience starts with loving and caring for yourself. And putting my own happiness first was the only way to course correct and to have a life envisioned for myself while having the strength to be there for others as well. I dedicated my story to my two very strong, beautiful daughters. And what I learned from it, and I hope that they will take from it, is that loving and believing in yourself and knowing what you have to offer others rather than fighting against anything is the only way to bring about change that you might be striving for in your own life, to leave the past behind and focus forward. I hid behind my business persona for so long, I forgot who I really was. And I believe I'm a beautiful soul that wants to make a difference in the world. And I invite you to buy the book to read my story and the many inspiring stories that my co-authors have also shared with all of us. You can find my book and a signed copy through my email at judy@essentialstrategy.ca or online at my website, essentialstrategy.ca. And thank you so much for this opportunity, Laura. It's just been an absolute amazing journey with all of these women, and I'm just so honored to be here.
You know, Judy, I'm so glad you brought up so many good, juicy nuggets here. The transformation that happens as an author is what a lot of you are talking about. And that emanates out into the world by your stories being able to transform other people. And like you said, you got to love and believe in yourself first. That's not an easy journey. And if anybody's struggling with that, this book will help. This book will guide you. These sisters here are your sisters. So
thank you so much.
Pick up a copy from any one or all of these authors. Share them with your women in your life, your daughters, your nieces, your aunts, your grandmothers, your mothers, your adopted mothers and aunts and sisters, as you wish. So Tanya, please share about the chapter you wrote and the takeaway and what inspired it and where people can get yours.
Hi, my name is Tanya Williamson, and I like to call myself Chapter 45. Although, the Bible says that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I'm excited to share with you Inequity and Opposition Couldn't Stop Me. And so specifically, if I were to ask you a question, because I'm going to position this back to you, because I want you to sit on edge as you are about to purchase this amazing collaboration project, I'll ask you this question. If you knew upfront that inequity and opposition would coexist or exist in your space in entrepreneurship, would you even start a business? Just want you to pause there for a second. Just pause for just a few seconds. Well, honestly, I'm just going to give you a response directly from the source, directly from the book. If I knew upfront that I would have had to contend with these two opponents, would I have to rethink whether I wanted to even transition from corporate America into this position? I ask myself this question now. I also ask my clients. And so I know there's a lot of women out there that's sitting here making a lot of transition, trying to determine whether or not you just started this business and whether or not you should have even jumped ship. I want to encourage you. In this specific chapter, I help you understand how to confront these giants and overcome these oppositions. Because number one, I would not have changed a thing. There are a few things that I really highlight here in the book that's most important, or rather in my chapter. It's important first to keep God first. It's important as you navigate through this journey. And also I encourage women that there is an entire market out here to eat. There's an entire market, and there's an entire market out here waiting for your products and services. And I also want you to take a different turn. I want you to stop looking at the inequity, stop looking at the opposition, and instead confront both head on. And so if you can take away those 3 pointers that I just provided to you, every entrepreneurial woman who is about to read this chapter, who is about to read this entire book, they are definitely going to untap markets that have been long awaiting for them to serve. You can find, or rather purchase my book at TanyaWilliamson.shop. You can learn more about me at TanyaWilliamson.com. You can also meet the authors at Voices of the 21st Century book.com. But feel free, this collaboration has definitely been an amazing journey for me and my sisterhood from across the globe. I'm truly excited. So I look forward to you sitting on edge. Once again, remember, I started off with that biblical passage. The reason why I started off with that biblical passage is because there is a woman right now that's believing that they're sitting in the back. Well, it's time for you now to come to the front, because guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to win.
That's right. And we're all here sitting at the front waiting for you. And I love that you brought this up, that, with support, these inequities can be diminished. You don't have to let them stop you. We want to be the resources for you to move forward. We're here for you. Voicesofthe21stcentury.com. If you have a story you want to bring forth, visit there. We want to support you. And Barbara, I would love to hear about your story, what inspired it, and then where can people get a signed copy, and what are they going to take away?
Absolutely, Laura. And thanks everybody for your shares already. It's very inspiring. And wow, this is such an amazing group. My chapter is called The Vacation That Opened the Door to My Life's Work. It's inspired by a lot of risks that I took earlier in my life. I took a vacation to Italy, quit my job, then took a vacation to Italy, which some people, meeting a guy, moved back. All of this took me on a wild adventure. The chapter and the story it's basically this premise that you need to leap, not knowing if there's a net or not. You're going to land at some point, or you will land, and then you deal with it. You find life in that space. And then another opportunity comes where you need to take a risk or leap or make a decision. And once again, you do it. And the more you do it, kind of the better you get at it. I have lived my life this way in a lot of it. And it has had amazing consequences, positive consequences, I would say. And not that it's all been easy, but I wrote the chapter to encourage people, younger women and men. I actually had lunch with a guy today who took the message on to take some risks and don't wait too long to fulfill the dreams that we've all been talking about here. All the women who contributed to this book have had amazing journeys that have allowed them to start from one place and get to another place. And I hope that my story will encourage younger women, maybe in their 30s, to think about where they are. Is this what I really want for my life? And if it isn't, to take a risk and make a change, maybe a bold change, maybe a small change, but it's about action. You have to start, and the universe will reward that action in one way or another. My book, it will be available on my website, which is Bold Global, BOLDT global.com. We are installing a Shopify shop as I speak, thanks to Tanya. So my book will be available there. I live in Southeast Michigan, the Detroit area, and I am planning a number of book signings in the area. So you can also get it directly from me, and I'll be happy to sign it. But I held my first book signing yesterday. I had never done this before. I sold 8 copies, signed them all. I gave one away because it was part of an event. So we raffled off a book, and it's just like so cool. I've never done this before, and I'm having a ball. So thank you, Gail and Laura and the fantastic team for this great opportunity.
You're most welcome. And thank you for being an author out there, making a difference, encouraging women of all ages, especially those starting out in their careers or wanting to make career moves, like you say, to move into what's their passion, because that's how we're going to transform the world. Candace, I'd love to hear about your chapter title, takeaways. What inspired your story, and where people can get a copy?
Hello, everyone. I'm Candace Platter, and I am an addictions therapist in Vancouver, Canada. My chapter is called Ready or Not, Here I Come, because ready or not, here I come. I grew up in a family with parental narcissism. My mother was a narcissist classically. And one of the things that she instilled in me from a very early age was that I didn't matter very much, and that nothing I felt or thought or needed to say mattered very much. And, as most children hearing those kinds of messages, I believed it because nobody was really telling me anything different. So I flew under the radar in my life for a very long time, shy, quiet, not believing that anything that I had to say was of value at all. And then I wrote a book about the work that I do with families that are dealing with addiction. And suddenly, people wanted to interview me and wanted to know what I had to say. And my life just changed. It just opened up. And what I realized from that is that I have a voice. We talk about equity. We all have a voice. And as I sit here and listen to all of my co-authors talking about their journeys, it's just amazing to me how all of us coming from different walks of life, how similar we all are, and all of the struggles that we've been through have gotten us to where we are today. And that's very real for me, because today I have self-respect, which I didn't have for such a long time. And today I know that what I say has value. And I believe that what everybody says has value. So if you're somebody who isn't sure about yourself, if you think that nobody really cares what you have to say, if you're anything like what I was, I would suggest to you that you read my chapter, that you don't give up, that you find your voice, that you read all the chapters in this book. And, you know, let's be women transforming the world. And if there are men listening, you too, transforming the world to a really good place. I'm going to be doing some book signings in Vancouver, in the Vancouver area. So if you're there, and I'll be putting it on my website, telling you what events I'm doing. My website is called Love with Boundaries, because we need to love, and we need to love with boundaries. So it's lovewithboundaries.com, or you can email me at candace@lovewithboundaries.com if you would like to purchase a signed copy. I would love to do that for you. So you can just email me. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you so much, everyone, for just making this one of the best experiences I've had. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And thank you for being the model of what it does to go from lack of self-respect to fully making a difference and feeling that presence in yourself of honoring your value. It's what we've been talking about today. So Deb Alcadina, let's hear from you. Are you here? Yes, you are. What is your chapter, and what do people take away? What inspired it, and how can they get a signed copy from you?
Thanks so much, Laura. I feel like I'm in the grace of amazing company today. Thank you. So yes, my name is Deb Alcadino, and my chapter is called Soul Lights Shining Brightly. The inspiration for my chapter is the fact that I'm living my true purpose now, but I realize that not everyone does. So in my chapter, I give a glimpse into my life's journey, and I share that by rewriting my personal story, reframing the difficult times in my life so that my soul light could shine brightly, I was able to survive and thrive and find my purpose. So I know now that my purpose is to use my voice, vision, and heart to make an impact on humanity and help others to do the same. Because I believe that by learning and living our true purpose, and by aligning our businesses to a bigger cause, we can tackle some of the greatest challenges of our time and change the world, so that collectively we can create impact locally and globally. You can find my signed copy of my book. I'd be honored to do that for you at businessforsocialgood.ca. That's business number 4, socialgood.ca. And you can find the book under the Learnings tab. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. It's all about finding your purpose and living it. Oh my gosh, so much good. And we also have Debbie Helena to share your story and what are the takeaways, what inspired it, and where can people get a copy of your signed book?
Thank you, Laura. And thank you, Gail, and everyone here. Oh, wow. I want to share just in general about this magnificent book. And several people have already touched on this. They say that what's most personal is most universal. And I cannot say that's any more true than to anyone who reads this book. You will see it in every chapter. You will be able to relate something from your journey or the journey of someone that you love very dearly. I can promise you that. There's an interconnectedness between each one of us. And those golden threads are just woven through each chapter in this book. It's extraordinary to just hold the space with each one of you right now. So thank you. And hold the space in the book as well. It's really powerful. My chapter is titled Linda. And my chapter was inspired by my mom and her journey and her light and her inspiration. So this chapter is truly about self-sovereignty. It's about being aware of your power and keeping your power. But most of us don't know about our personal power. We don't know how powerful we are. We're never taught that we have the ability to create our life and our experiences. They don't teach us this in school. And it all has to do with your mindset. What do you believe? Not what your parents believe, not what your teachers believe, not what your government believes. What do you believe? And I'm going to add another person or another group in there, not what your doctors believe. And I want to challenge you to ask questions and be more curious. And my chapter in honor of my mom, it talks about the ability to tune into really what you desire and how you can create that. It doesn't matter what obstacles. My mom had physical, emotional, and mental obstacles in her path most of her life that she overcame. And in doing that, she became an inspiration to so many other people because she had the courage to shine her light and to just step into her own power. When she realized the ability that she had, she got to choose and experience her life on her terms. So really, I'm just going to give you a message. You'll get to read it in the book along with all the other women in these powerful stories. But basically, you always find what you're looking for. If you are looking for obstacles and problems, you are going to find them all day long. But if you are looking for success, for possibilities, for love, for ways to live your life now, you are going to find those too. You're that powerful. You're that powerful. So I always like to say that my mom left her light on for us, and it was my honor to bring her story to this book. So thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Debbie, for shining the light for your mom, of your mom, and your light as well. Wow, women, powerful, extraordinary stories from pain to passion and power and purpose and claiming your space and celebrating your achievements. I don't know, I got a lot out of all of your shares, and I just want to acknowledge all of you for the amazing gift you are in this book. And just go ahead and buy several copies, buy from each of these authors, let them know you celebrate them as well. Thank you so much. And Gail, would you like to wrap us up today? I know you're full.
I would, but Laura, you also share a story.
I
So
do.
let's hear yours, and then I'll wrap up.
Okay. Yes, I wrote a story and in this book, and it's about my 3 Ps of transformation, how I really transformed the world of my world. And what inspired it was just you come to a place in life and you feel like you own your power, but you always have setbacks. So where do you go? You go back to what worked when you first transformed. And I thought I'd just give a little encapsulation of that in my book of what are those basic, really powerful transformative tools that I use on a daily basis. And so it's called Life-Changing Perspectives, and I invite everybody to read it. And I actually want to invite people to get the book from one of our authors. I mean, you can contact me anytime. I'm at Coach Laura R on Instagram and transformtoday.com, or you can get a copy of the Feminine Power Cards bundled with a book at femininepowercards.com. But my heart is so full from all the women here that I really want you to reach out to our authors here and empower their stories by giving a signed copy of the book away. So thanks, Gail.
Thank you, Laura. I'm just reading the back cover of the book here. says, we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. Maya Angelou. And I want, as we listen to all those stories here today, this is just a handful of the women that are in this book. They have undergone personal transformation, some through some challenge, trauma, others through triumph and celebration. And they have raised their voice. They have put it on paper in a book for you to serve you, to help you. And please do go and pick up a copy of the book. If you've connected to one of the authors, this book is for the stories to find you. The stories will find you that perfect reader for that chapter. Pick up copies, share them around, pass them around to other women, friends, colleagues. Let them know that you appreciate them, see them. And I just want to thank everybody in this book, all the women who have contributed. It took a lot of courage. It took a lot of digging deep in some places to really get your message out there. I'm proud of all of you. This has been an amazing group of women that came together, and my heart is full. I wish all of you were running the world, because this world would not be in trouble if all of you were behind the driver's seat on this planet. So thank you for being that woman, raising your voice and transforming this world. You're doing an awesome job.
Woohoo! All right, we will see you next time. And please celebrate the author, celebrate yourself. Voices of the 21st Century Book.com, everyone. Bye for now, and embrace equity. Love that.